Welcome one, welcome all. Oh, that's good. Now I'm back to being on the regular. I had a good week with a number of games that I chose, especially with Nekopara Volume 0. Now we're back at doing it again. This time, we're plowing through Volume 1 of the series. Hello, everyone. My name is Luis, also known as LG65. And let me change to this screen now. Welcome, one and all, to the stream. I'm glad you're here. Make yourself comfortable while we prepare to read the visual novel of the night. And of course, it is Nekopara Volume 1. And for those who were in town who saw Nekopara Volume 0 last week, that the entire visual novel is available to watch on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/legendplays65. So let's load up Volume 1 and we shall get into it. Let me just change the thing on my OBS also. Where is it? Do 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 do. Hmm. Yeah, I have to change the name too as well. So I got. It retains the same music as the what's it called? The earlier edition. And he also. That's strange. Oh, here we go. And now we change to this. There you go. It should be good now. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Let me see if it works against the... Yes. There we go. That is gorgeous looking. Let me just adjust it now to make it fit the screen here. Beautifully done. Almost through. Perfect. Oh, just about. Maybe a little angling up a little up top, but that's okay. Let me just adjust it tiny notch. Almost have it. Okay, well, it's not perfect, but I guess it'll have to do for now. Anyway, so it looks like the format's similar to the original Nekopara, so right now extras are inaccessible. I'm assuming that's the, what's it called? Ah, here we go. There was the full screen option I was waiting to see. So, and you just adjust the window a little bit. Although the other option was much nicer, much more cleaner. But in any case, it should be fine. So let me see. What options can I have available? Alright, there's not much there. That's fine. So it's pretty much a visual novel of the weird kind, if you bore witness to Volume 1 last week during my stream. So get comfortable because we're in for a fun ride once again in the cafe that is known as La Soleil. So let us begin. Phew, this should be most of the boxes then. I wiped the sweat off my forehead with my arm as the moving truck disappeared from view. Although it was early April and only the beginning of spring, today's weather was quite nice. It was even a bit hot. Well, it's a good day for a new start. I turned my head to look at the empty bakery, which didn't even have any signage yet. The brand new exterior had a western look with a predominantly white and brown motif. There was also a large window which let lots of sunlight in. And finally, there were words that displayed the name of the bakery, La Soleil. That is right, yeah? Oh, I thought you were someone who knows French. Sorry. Instead of the proper French article, le was la soleil, meaning the sun. This was a nod towards the name of the shop of someone I admired. Now that I'm on my own, I'll have to do my best, I softly murmured to myself. From here on out, no one would tell me what to do. I was gonna start completely anew despite the stature of my family's name and everything that had happened up till now. I alone would decide my path and take responsibility for what I would do. In exchange for that freedom, I can't blame anyone else for what happens. Still, although I was a bit worried, the thought of what lay ahead made me break into a smile. Alright, in any case, I better get all these things cleaned up. I took a deep breath and got my spirits back up. I stepped into the new smelling bakery. What's with this big box? In front of me was a large box I didn't recognize. In fact, there were two of them. Fragile, delicate. Absolutely this side up. If thrown, your company will be in trouble. The warnings were going overboard. They were getting annoying. Even if these are baking supplies, I don't remember buying anything quite like this. First off, there were boxes that looked like they came from my house. If these were the bakery, then there's no way I wouldn't remember buying them. There were no tags from the moving company either. All there was there were those warning labels. Well, I'll know for sure once I open the... Huh? Oh, it's just a cat, huh? Just a troublesome cat. I mean, jeez. Like that would fool me. What are you doing, Chocola? We just saw each other at home yesterday, you know. Well, compared to the rest of my things, you are heavy. She ignored what I said. Chocola puffed out her cheeks. You could say that she was always happy-go-lucky. Or rather, she preoccupied herself with only what was in front of her. Well, I guess that's how you describe Chocola. While I was getting ready to move, I did wonder why I didn't see you. Hey. Why is Vanilla here too?
猫は狭いところは嫌いじゃない。あと私もこっちの段ボールも重いから気をつけろよとか言われた。だから私もポコポンスか。
Again, huh? Well, in any case, Chocola, Vanilla, get out of there. I was at my wit's end with the large boxes that had suddenly shown up. Anyhow, Chocola and Vanilla got out of their boxes. Why is no one picking up the phone? Just what is Shigure doing? I hung up after trying to call my little sister. There was no way that Chocola and Vanilla could have gotten mixed in with the rest of the boxes in the first place. On the outside, cat girls look almost like humans. They can understand words and can talk just like us. But more than humans, cat girls were closer to normal cats. After all, cat girls have ears and tails just like cats do. They were genetically modified humanoid cats that were commonly referred to as cat girls. These days, cat girls fit into society as pets in families or partners to humans. My little sister really loves to dote on cat girls, so our family has 6, including Chocola and Vanilla. In any case, they couldn't have mailed themselves all on their own. Mailing living things through the post would be impossible for one thing. There's no way my parents would have helped with this either. Thus, I could only guess this was somehow Shigure's doing. I see, so Shigure was an accomplice then.
思ってたより広い。ご主人の解消バッチリ。バニラ、あっちの部屋行ってみよう。探検。位置的におそらく寝室。きっとご主人の新しいベッドがあるはず。いやー、それは聞き逃せないね。もふもふしに行こう。もふもふ。もふもふ了解。私もそれはいいと思う。そうと決まれば、レッツゴー。
Don't get out of control and hurt yourselves, okay?
はーい。
Without any ill intentions, the 2 cat girls were off and running. Well, the bakery did have living quarters on the 2nd floor, so I wasn't worried about them causing a ruckus around here. Of course, they aren't young cat girls anymore either. Oh, so I shouldn't have to worry about them getting out of control too much. Well, besides that, I looked up an address in my phone's address book. Minaduki Residence. Well, I already left Shigure a message, so she should call me back later. Without pressing the call button, I put my cell phone back into my pocket. I moved out without saying anything. So for her to call me back within the day seemed a bit stupid. Well, I mean, it wasn't really an issue I needed to bring up right this moment. So I should hear from Shigure soon anyway.
ご主人様のお布団、もふもふ完了であります。新しいお布団、すごくふかふか。合格点。
Good work, you two. Gosh, both of you have a major bedhead. Sheesh.
ご主人様のなでなで大好き。気持ちいいです。苦しゅうない。
I tidied up their hair with a comb. Their soft hair felt nice as always. I lightly bonked them both on the head while they had their eyes closed. Now then, why were the 2 of you hiding among my moving boxes, hmm?
主人様が連れてってくれないって言うから仕方なく。ショコラが行くって言うからノリで。
You had no choice? Just tagged along? You two. Well, I figured that had to be the reason, but... Well, anyway, I recomposed myself and looked at the two of them again. Okay, listen up, alright? How many times have I told you to? This isn't a vacation or picnic. I moved out because I have no intention of going back there. If you were at home, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. Shigure and the other cat girls are there too, okay? It would be better if you two just...
ショコラはお腹の音もかわいい。
While listening to these silly excuses, I glanced at the clock and saw that it was already past 1 o'clock. Now that I thought about it, I haven't eaten anything since this morning either. Well then, why don't we have lunch first then?
ご主人は話がわかる。かたじけない。
These two were as easygoing as always.
ネコパ
Wow, that intro screen, there, interlude screen, that's cool.
ラ。お買い物。ご主人様とお買い物。にゃー。最近はご主人が全然お買い物連れて行ってくれなかったから、ショコラのテンションが青天井。にゃー。バニラだって実はウキウキしてるくせに。ほーら、ほっぺふにふにしちゃうぞ。はい、ショコラくすぐった。ダメ。
You'll bother those around us, so try not to get too carried away, you two, okay? Since the refrigerator was empty, we headed to the nearby shopping district to buy groceries. From brand name clothing stores to supermarkets, there was an array of stores. There was even a drugstore with daily necessities amongst them. If you come here, we have just about everything. That was how the real estate agent had recommended this place to me. Wait, don't you two go shopping with Shigure often?
もう、しぐれちゃんとご主人様じゃ全然違うんです。はあ、ご主人はほんと、ご主人たる自覚がなくて困る。ショコラが不憫。
Hey, now first of all, Shigure is your master, okay?
しぐれちゃんもご主人様だけど、しぐれちゃんはしぐれちゃんなんです。だからご主人様はご主人様なんです。全然違うでしょ。ね、理屈になってないけど熱意は伝わる。さすがはショコラ。パチパチパチ。
Never mind then. Well, anyway, just keep it down inside the store, okay? I parted from the two of them. I decided to hurry on ahead.
ご主人様、シャンプーはこれがいいってしぐれちゃんが言ってましたよ。これ、毛並みがサラサラになるし、すごく甘くていい匂いがする。
But that's stuff for you two to use. I don't need it, so put it down and come over here, okay?
ご主人様、ひどい。ひどいぶった切りようです。よしよし、ショコラ泣かないの。ご主人はひどい人だね。
Don't just say that and then toss that in the basket all nonchalantly.
ガードが硬い。
I had to be on guard or they would sneak something in when I wasn't paying attention. They even tried to grab another basket for themselves at the supermarket earlier. It was apparent to me how dreadful an idea it was when they decided to come along.
ごめんなさい、ご主人様。久 しぶりのご主人様とのお買い物でテンション上がっちゃって。猫は素直だから仕方ないね。ご主人も素直になればいいのに。さ。
It has nothing to do with being honest, okay? I'm telling you right now. Don't just put the shampoo in the basket like that. Now put it back.
交渉です。お願いします、ご主人様。何とぞショコラたちのシャンプーを買ってください。シャンプーもない家に帰るのは悲しい。猫的に油髪は気持ち悪い。あの猫ちゃんたち、シャンプーもろくに買ってもらえないのかしら。猫虐待で通報した方がいいんじゃないのかしら、あれ。
Don't put on some act to confuse the customers around us. I mean, seriously. We only just moved here. But suddenly we already had disapproving glares directed at us.
ご主人様とのお出かけは楽しいです。思わずニャンニャン言いたくなっちゃいますね。ニャンニャン。私たちのものは何も買ってくれなかったけど。
Oops, went a little too fast there. Let's see if I can reload the thing.
私たちのものは何も買ってくれなかったけど。ご主人きつい。
I'm not a cheapskate, okay? Besides, I nearly got reported. After that, it was the same sort of exchange at the supermarket. The whole thing was so awkward that I don't think I can visit that shopping district for a while. Well, I guess you could say that was the cute side of cat girls.
あっちからすごくいい匂いがする。本当だ。すごく香ばしくていい匂いがします、ご主人様。
It definitely does. What is this smell? I turned towards the source of it.
いらっしゃいませ。美味しい出来たてのたこ焼きいかがですか？熱々で鰹節たっぷりのたこ焼きいかがですか？あ、猫のたこ焼き屋さんだ。珍しいですね、ご主人様。本当だ。小さい子猫ちゃん、かわいい。
It was a cat girl younger than Chocola and Vanilla. She waved her tiny hands as she politely drew customers in. In human terms, she looked like she was about 12 or 13 years old. In cat years, she was about 6 months old. The young cat girl noticed us and ran over.
猫のお姉ちゃんだ。私と一緒だね。にゃんにゃん。うん、一緒だね。にゃんにゃん。喉ゴロゴロしてあげちゃおう。ゴロゴロ。子猫は無邪気で超かわいい。半端ない。私はなでなでしてあげちゃう。なでなで。
すみません、うちの猫が。あの猫ちゃんたちの飼い主さん？
The owner of the food stand greeted us. Yes, I am. Well, to be more exact, my little sister is their owner.
すごく可愛くてお利口な猫ちゃんたちだね。愛想もいいし、言葉もしっかりしてるし。うちのはまだ7ヶ月なんだけどね。もうちょっとしたらあんな風にちゃんとしてくれるのかな。
The food stand owner had a wry smile on her face like she was talking about a mischievous child of hers. At a glance, it was understandable that seeing a young cat girl made it easy to overlook these things. Mine were originally strays, so I don't actually know how old they are. The veterinarian said that they were twins and were now about 9 months old. My little sister's actually quite the education freak. Back then, they were really noisy, but it was all worth it.
しぐれちゃんがちゃんとお勉強教えてくれたんです。いい子になれるようにって。 厳しい。でもおかげさまでいろいろと覚えた。
そうなんだ。いいご主人様なのね。
あ、でもご主人様はご主人様なんです。しぐれちゃんはしぐれちゃんですからね、ご主人様。通訳すると、しぐれは大事な友達。ご主人って呼ぶのはこっちのご主人だけってことで。
愛されてるんだね、ご主人様は。
Well, I am grateful. She lightly nudged me with her elbow. I responded with an embarrassed, forced smile. Hearing this kind of stuff in public sure was embarrassing.
子猫ちゃん、ちょっと上向いてごらん。上？こう？つきあり。ゴロゴロゴロ。ゴロゴロゴロ。
The three of them were getting along very well. The food stand owner looked fondly at them from nearby.
うちの子ももともと奈良だったんだよね。今日みたいにたこ焼き売ってたらお腹空かせて寄ってきてさ、そのまま拾って今じゃ自分の娘みたいなもんになってさ、店まで手伝ってくれるようになってね。人型猫が流行したこともあったけど、普通の猫の何倍も飼うのが大変だからね。
Her words seemed tinged with blame and worry. She grumbled, letting out a sigh. Not that long ago, it wasn't rare to see stray humanoid cats just wandering throughout town. But now, it was likely for one to see humanoid cats that were well loved by their owners. Since the amount of unfortunate humanoid cats had decreased, there was more of a balance, and owners were quite elated.
責任感のない連中ばっかりで嫌気もさすけど、でもそいつらのおかげで可愛い娘に会えたのかなって思うとなんとも言えないけどね。
There was a bright and honest laugh. I nodded in agreement. Well, that is true. This must be like how pets find their way back to their owners. I smiled at such an uncharacteristic thought from me.
ああ、そうだった。お姉ちゃんたち、たこ焼きはいかがですか？熱々で大きいたこが入ってて、すっごく美味しいですよ。すっごく美味しいたこ焼き。でもこれから帰ってご飯だから。ご主人が作ってくれるから。
Chocola and Vanilla's shoulders drooped down heartedly. As they hung their heads, I rubbed them from behind. I took a look at the little takoyaki seller. Okay, 3 orders of takoyaki. Can you do that for me, please?
たこ焼き3つ？
Her large eyes blinked as she tilted her head in confusion. Yeah, for me, chocola and vanilla. Could you do that for me, please?
たこ焼き3つですね。ご主人様、オーダーです。たこ焼き3つ。ご主人様。
It's gonna take time to get home and make food after all. Besides, I want to try the takoyaki here too.
はい、そこらも、もうお腹が切なくグーグー泣いてました。すごく嬉しいです。ご主人かっこいい。しぐれがいつもツンデレ実刑はいいものですと言ってるだけのことある。
Wait, what does that even mean?
はいはい、じゃあこっちにあるメニュー好きなトッピングと味選んでね。うちの猫が遊んでもらった分サービスさせてもらっちゃうよ。
はい、ありがとうございます。ショコラはマヨネーズかかってるのが好きです。ありがたくいただきます。ペコリ。私は明太子チーズがいい。
My question was completely ignored. Well, I guess I shouldn't let it bother me, huh? I wondered about that as I looked at Chocola and Vanilla, happily awaiting their takoyaki in front of the food stand. Another interlude screen. These are cute, eh? I still can't get a hold of her. Were there guests over today or something? When I checked the clock, it was past 10 o'clock already. Since then, I tried calling Shigure several times, but couldn't get through to her. And just like that, it had already gotten this late. I've never gone this long without hearing from Shigure. I really didn't understand my family schedule at all.
ご主人様、ご主人様。久しぶりに一緒にお風呂入りましょう。お背中流してあげますから。私たちの発育が良くなってからお風呂入れてくれなくなった。ご主人のエロ。
You haven't even grown that much. What are you two even talking about?
ショコラとバニラはもう立派なレディー猫だってしぐれちゃんが言ってましたし。その発言がセクハラ。猫の尊厳を踏みにじってる。それにショコラは今くらいがアイデンティティ。
Vanilla, you're the one changing the subject. Well, in any case, don't worry about the bath. You two need to get ready to go home, okay?
帰る支度？ショコラの家はご主人様のお家ですけども。ショコラの隣が私の居場所だし。あと、ご主人かっこいい。なんか妙に男前に見えてきた。
I'm gonna have to disagree there. Stop feigning ignorance, you two. Cut that out. The two of them looked my way, about to distract me once more. Since Shigure isn't picking up, I'll take you two, okay? So go get ready to leave. Alright? Chocola and Vanilla turned away from me to cast their gazes downwards. Turning home on the same day I had moved out. It seemed to be such a stupid idea that I did hesitate a little bit. But there was no other way. Nor was there time for excuses. I looked towards Chocola and Vanilla as they hung their heads in silence and continued on. Alright, listen up, you two. I'm going to open my bakery. I've got nobody to rely on, so I don't know how things will turn out. With all that's going on, I don't know if I can take care of you two. Get it? I mean, it's already going to be difficult enough just looking after my set. It was a quiet voice I could barely hear. Chocola said something with her head down. What did you say? I came closer and asked her to repeat herself. Wait! Hey, Chocola!
私もタットのごとく、いや、脱猫のごとく離脱。
Wait, stop! Vanilla, why are you running away too?
ほらほら、ご主人様、こっちですよ。ショコラはこちらにございます。
It's dangerous, so stop running around. If you fall, you'll get hurt.
猫にそんな心配はご不要。人型でも猫は猫。さささ。
Maybe so in Chocola's case, but aren't you too bad with physical activity? Come on, I've got you now, Chocola.
ご主人様のエッチ、どこ触ってるんですか？ご主人、ショコラの胸もろ触ってる。もうわしづかみ。
I am not. It's because you two are running around. Hey, stop it! You're still gonna run? Yeah, I got you, Vanilla. What? Chocola, stop! Really, stop, Chocola! Like I said, stop running! The two of them didn't listen to a word I said as they continued to mess with me. And that was how the first night went. For now, I'll let you stay, but only for tonight, okay? I don't have guest beds or futons, alright? While all that was happening, 11 o'clock became midnight. Even if I took them home, everyone was sure to be asleep by now. The one glimmer of hope I had was that Shigura would call me back. Well, that didn't happen. So I decided that taking them home tomorrow was my first priority.
もちろんご主人様のベッドで寝ます。私もご主人のベッドで我慢する。
Cleverly, they even brought pajamas. Just how much planning went into their schemes anyway? Really, if you two sleep there, where would I?
一緒に寝てくれないですか？この子に及んで。ご主人は人の男子なのに往生際が悪い。順番はご主人、ショコラ、私でいい。にゃー。ご主人様とバニラに囲まれて幸せにゃん。
Don't get ahead of yourself, you two. A single bed for 3 people is way too crowded.
じゃあ押しかけたのがショコラたちですし、ここでいいですよ。猫らしく丸まって寝ますし。贅沢は言わない私たち、超けなげ。猫の鏡。
Oops. Let me go to the backlog and hear that again.
贅沢は言わない私たち、超けなげ。
Oh boy.
猫の鏡。こんな感じで。
I watched the two of them lie down and curl up on the floor of an empty room without even curtains. That's way too pitiful of a sight to be called praiseworthy.
お引っ越ししたばかりで段ボールたくさんありますよね。お家作ったらあったかいって聞いたし、なんとかなる気がする。
That's something only strange people would say. Where did these cat girls get this information from anyways? Well, they probably read a lot of books and watched TV in Shigure's room. Chocola isn't good with kanji characters, so she only reads picture books though. Whatever. You two just go sleep in my bed, okay? It still gets pretty cold at night in April after all.
そしたらご主人様はどうするんですか？ショコラの隣？
I'm going to sleep on the sofa in the living room, alright? The sofa can fit one person, and there's air conditioning in there if I need it.
ダメですよ。それならショコラがソファーで寝ますから。ご主人様はバニラと一緒にお布団で寝てください。私こそソファーのが落ち着く。ショコラとご主人でベッド使えばいい。
They move quickly towards me like lions catching their prey. I placed my hands on their heads and spoke in a clear and stern voice. Listen, I will sleep on a sofa and you two will sleep in my bed, okay? Those are your master's orders. Understood?
ご主人様。ご主人。
I said it like that deliberately. The two of them looked as if they wanted to say something, but they hesitated. They lowered their heads apologetically.
ごめんなさい。ご主人様。ごめんなさい。ご主人。
They mustered out. They looked like they were on the verge of tears. Their obedience had the exact opposite of the effect I expected. It filled me with guilt. I felt a prickling sensation in my chest. That pain left me as I sighed and rubbed the two of them on the head. Come on, get going.
はい。
Good night. If anything happens, call for me right away, okay?
はい。おやすみなさい。ご主人様。おやすみ、ご主人。
I gently rubbed the heads of the two dispirited cat girls once more. See you in the morning, okay? With that said, I turned the lights off in the room.
ご主人様、本当にごめんなさい。迷惑をかけてしまって。
Her vanishing voice echoed slightly in the darkened room. The pain in my heart from before became even sharper. I swallowed that pain and replied cheerfully. It's okay if it's just for one night, okay? Don't worry about it.
ご主人様。
Now then, go to sleep, okay? I really shouldn't act on my emotions, huh? I lay down on the sofa. I sighed while staring at the ceiling. If I gave in to my emotions, the result would just lead to more sadness. If I used kind or hopeful words, they would all end up as lies. It's pretty uncool of me to be so passive like this. While I continued to pile on insults and make excuses for my actions, I closed my eyes and waited for sleep to take over. Another intro screen.
その件に関しては、ショコラとバニラの意思を尊重したいと思います。ショコラとバニラがちゃんと納得したら迎えに行きますので。
Was what she told me when I was finally able to get in touch with her. Without any margin of negotiation space, I was struck down. But Shigure, even if you say that I don't think chocolate and vanilla, well...
ところで兄様、この妹目に今朝の愛のささやきを。
Don't make it sound like it's a daily ritual or something, okay? In any case...
すみません。お父様から呼ばれましたので、失礼いたします。愛してますわ、兄様。ではまた。
wait, Shigure! Seriously? As the ruthless electronic buzz of the drop called echo, I stared at my cell phone. And here I thought I could sort all this out if I could just talk to Shigure.
朝ごはんおいしいですね。ご主人様のご飯はいつでもおいしいですにゃ。ショコラ、ほっぺにケチャップついてる。芸術的に可愛い。舐めてあげちゃう。ペロペロ。
The cat girls in question were happily stuffing themselves with sandwiches. These sandwiches incidentally contained tomato, cheese, and lettuce. With an over-easy fried egg tucked inside all of that, it was a simple meal. Breakfast was pretty much like this. You two are definitely going home today, okay?
ご主人様はショコラたちといるの楽しくないですか？ショコラは楽しいですよ。もうそれは今世紀最大級に。昨晩はご主人だって結構お楽しみだったくせに。
Stop with the deliberately misleading words! I sighed at their happy-go-lucky mindset. I took the opportunity to fill their empty glasses with milk. The eating habits of cat girls are pretty much the same as those of humans, so that part was straightforward. Of course, what they liked and disliked depended on each individual cat girl. And in the end, I wasn't able to get everything put away yesterday. Today, I really do have to start getting ready for the bakery's opening too, okay? That's why I don't have time to relax and play with you two. Be good girls and go home, alright? I said that to them with a sandwich in my hand.
ここにショコラがいたら、ご主人様は迷惑ですか？
She put her sandwich down on her plate. And just like yesterday, she looked at me with upturned eyes. Yeah, it's a problem, I answered her clearly.
そうですか。そうですよね。やっぱり。
Her shoulders drooped more than before. The ears which sat atop her head drooped down heartily too.
ショコラ。
Unable to make fun of anything, Vanilla could only look on with concern. The pain from last night pricked at my heart again. I tilted the already cooled coffee cup as my emotions dulled, unimpeded by my judgment.
それでもショコラはご主人様のところにいたいです。
Her usually always perky ears were drooping. Chocolate was speaking clearly at her own volition.
ショコラがいるなら私もここにいる。私もここにいたいと思う。
Vanilla's usually blank expression did not change. However, she showed me her strong determination. I don't remember Chocola or Vanilla ever being this disobedient. That thought stayed in the back of my mind. But if I was going to be swayed by that, then I wouldn't have said this. That, understood? Hmm?
ご注文ありがとうございます。ロイヤルウッドです。ご注文いただきましたティーセットの配達にお伺いしました。ではこちらお店の中に運んじゃいますね。こちらの段ボールで全部ですね。では間違いなければ受領書にサインをいただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
She smiled brightly and brought out the invoice along with a pen. Alright, let's see. I looked over the sales invoice I received once more. Somehow, this doesn't look like what I ordered.
本当ですか？それは品物が違うということでしょうか。
No, the stuff I ordered isn't here too, but I looked over at the pile boxes inside the bakery. Inside of my tiny bakery was a mountain of boxes. A mountain! It was as if the inside of the bakery had become completely made of boxes. As you can see, we don't need this much tableware inside the bakery.
すみません。すぐに本社に確認しますので、少々お待ちいただいてもよろしいでしょうか。大変申し訳ございません。こちらのミスで別の注文書と混じってしまっていたようでして、水無月様の方もすぐにご入りようと思いますので、もしよろしければご注文分の食器を受け取っていただければと思うのですが。
Accept this order? Huh? From all this? The mountain of cardboard boxes towered over everything. I was at a loss for words. Every box was of equal size. I wouldn't know what was inside of each of them without opening them all up. And on top of that, looking at the sales invoice, I could see that they all contained expensive tea sets and tableware. And if I accepted it all, it would be a lot of work to deal with all these new items. There's still things that I need doing in advance of my bakery's opening, so I don't mind accepting these. But it's gonna take a while to deal with all this, alright?
もちろん私もお手伝いさせていただきますので、私も次の配達に行かないといけないですし。
Look, you don't need to put all this pressure on me. From the looks of it, it would take 2 hours or more. But to have it re-delivered would take double the effort too. Hmm? That's right! I have a lifeline!
猫ちゃんたち本当に助かりました。ありがとうございます。本当にありがとうございます。では私はこれで失礼させていただきますね。
Whew! I'm exhausted. I glanced at the table where we had just finished organizing, lowered myself into a chair and relaxed my shoulders.
ご主人様、冷たいお茶です。どうぞ。
Thanks, Chocola. Don't mind if I do. I downed the cold tea in one gulp. Somehow or another, the light meal tableware had arrived. Soon, I really had to get the bakery ready for its opening. And I did say I needed any help I could find. And I really did need help this time. I could sense the praise me aura coming from Chocola. She had a wide smile on her face and was in a ready stance to receive my approval. Thanks. I really couldn't have done it without you two.
ご主人様に褒めてもらっちゃったよ、バニラ。うんうん。柱の陰から見守ってた甲斐があったね。よしよし。ショコラ、ご主人様の役に立てましたね。やっぱりご主人様一人じゃお仕事大変だと思うんです。うんうん。猫の手でも存分に役に立つ。私たちがいなかったらまだ仕分け続行中だと思う。
Hey, you two are getting a little bit too close. They leaned forward towards me for emphasis. It is true that without you two around, this would have been a real problem. But that's a different issue than the one from before. You two have to go back home, alright? Besides, it's not like I could ask you to work for me or anything, alright?
そうですか。やっぱりダメですか。
Her shoulders drooped along with her ears and tail. The enthusiasm she showed earlier had completely disappeared. She sighed deeply and looked disheartened.
お掃除でもしてきます。せっかくですし。
She trudged up to the second floor, still dejected. Chocola isn't an idiot. I knew she was pushing herself to be full of energy. But even so, this wasn't something I was easily going to change my mind about. It was all the more with how much she cared for me.
ご主人、私たちがいたらそんなに迷惑？悪い子？
She spoke quietly in her usual way. Vanilla tilted her head as she asked that question. You two aren't bad cat girls, and that's why I can't have you stay here.
悪い子じゃないのにダメなの？
It's because you two are good cat girls that I can't allow it. She blinked as she took in my words. It was almost as if she was trying to peer inside my heart. She stared directly at me, long and hard.
人って難しい。猫にもそういうのはわからない。好きならそばにいたい。少なくとも私はそう思うけど。
Vanilla.
ショコラのところ行ってくる。
With those words, she went upstairs. The sound of her small footsteps slowly disappeared, and before long, I couldn't hear them anymore. Humans are hard to understand, huh? Inside the bakery, now devoid of anyone but myself, I repeated those words she had just said to me. Now that I think about it, that's a pretty inconsistent way of thinking now, isn't it? Cats do not understand it. Having heard that said aloud, I began to understand what it really meant. It must be pretty nice to live a simple life of a cat girl, huh? I pondered as I looked at the name of the bakery affixed to the window. With a bitter smile, I began to clean up the tea sets that had arrived earlier.
Nekopara. あれ、今日はあのたこ焼き屋がいない。
Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park in the evening. However, that food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day I decided to take the two cat girls home. I also happened to leave the house key behind. So to make good use of time, I went to do some shopping before Shigure got home.
あ、ごめんバニラ。なんだっけ、また旅だっけ。だいたいそんな感じ。
That isn't the right word at all. Chocola, if you're tired, why don't you read the rest of it?
あ、はい、少しだけ。でも大丈夫ですから。心配かけてごめんなさい、ご主人様。
There's no need for you to apologize. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we just rest for a bit?
じゃあ私、何か飲み物買ってくる。
Ah, thanks. Something for everyone, alright?
了解。任された。
I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocola. The constant sea breeze rustled the trees in the park. All that could be heard throughout the empty park were the quiet sounds of nature. I silently sat down next to the disheartened Chocola. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly.
ショコラ、帰ります。
Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't sure if I had heard her or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocola's head.
たまにはご主人様に電話してもいいですか。
Yeah,
またご主人様のところに遊びに来てもいいですか。
yeah.
ご主人様はショコラたちのことはちゃんと毎日思い出してくれますか。ショコラは離れててもご主人様って呼んでてもいいですか。
Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away her tears. She stifled her sobbing and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out with all my strength. Yeah, of course I will.
主人様、ごめんなさい。主人様。
I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. I rubbed Chocola's head as gently as I could.
やっぱりご主人様は優しいですね。
I really don't think I'm kind at all.
ご主人様、前も同じこと言ってましたから。
Before? Chocola closed her eyes and smiled.
覚えてますか、ショコラとバニラを。ご主人様としぐれちゃんが連れて帰ってくれた時のこと。
Oh yeah, of course I remember that. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocolate and Vanilla were huddled together, crying by the side of the road. They were still so young. They couldn't even speak then. It was that day that I embraced their small, cold bodies and took them home with me. There was no way I could simply forget that important day when our family grew. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home.
あの時は知らないお家で知らない人と猫ばっかりで怖くて。
You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shigure.
はい、とっても心配かけちゃいました。
I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the past.
ショコラとバニラが熱を出した時のことも覚えてますか？
Oh yes, I definitely do remember that. It was a few days after we brought Chocola and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water, and as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain.
あの時は夜中で誰にも気づいてもらえなくて、とにかく苦しくて辛くて寂しくて、声も出せなくて、手も足も全然動かなくて、助けて、誰か助けてって思いながらただただ泣いてたんです。そしたら
It's alright. I'm with you too. So don't worry.
ご主人様が大きくてあったかい手で撫でてくれたんですよね。ずっとそばで大丈夫大丈夫って言い続けてくれて、ショコラとバニラのこと撫で続けてくれてました。朝になって病院に行くまでずっとそばにいてくれて、なんで心細かったのか全部嘘だったみたいに。あの時も同じこと言ってました。俺は別に優しくなんかないって。でもショコラたちはご主人様が助けてくれなかったらここにいなかったです。あの時ご主人様がそばにいてくれなかったら誰も信じられないままでした。ご主人様のおかげでご飯も食べれるようになりました。しぐれちゃんともみんなとも仲良くなりました。だからあの時からショコラのご主人様はご主人様になったんです。ショコラはそれからずっと優しいご主人様のことが大好きなんですよ。
I wish that her tear-filled eyes would just not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. She smiled all she could before me.
だからショコラはご主人様がいなくなっちゃうって聞いて、いても立ってもいられなくて、どうしても一緒に行きたくて、しぐれちゃんにお願いをしたんです。
She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if would disappear any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm, but there was also an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocola. I was the one she was saying all this to. And even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name.
お金のこととか難しいことはやっぱり猫にはわからないです。でもやっぱりショコラはご主人様のそばにいたいんです。ご主人様が辛くて大変そうなのなんとなくわかります。本当になんとなくですけど、お 掃除でもお洗濯でもお料理でもショコラがお手伝いできることは何でもしますから。今すぐにはできなくても絶対にちゃんとできるようになりますから。だからもう一度だけお願いしちゃダメでしょうか。ショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。
Chocola voiced her feelings clearly once again, and barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocola, if you could be with me. I was engulfed by my inner thoughts, which were ready to overflow. She yearned for me so earnestly, for her to be so innocently believe in me. There should be no reason for me to be against it. That day, Chocola and Vanilla became an important part of my family. As long as they were with me, the days would be bright and enjoyable. I was simply selfish for just leaving home like that. I didn't want to get my dear family wrapped up in my selfishness, or have them experience any unnecessary hardship because of me. You two are important to me after all.
私たちは猫だから自分に素直なだけ。
My inner conflict was disrupted by Vanilla. Vanilla had returned at some point, and she looked straight at me as she sat at Chocola's side.
私なら楽しいことならショコラと一緒がいい。たとえ辛いことでもショコラと一緒にいたいと思う。だって一緒にいれないことの方が寂しくて辛いから。
Vanilla.
本当に好きなら迷惑かけたって一緒にいたい。それでも一緒にいたいものだと思う。私たちが幸せかどうかなんていくらご主人でも決めつけるのは違うと思うよ。それに大事な人が大変ならなおさらそばにいたい。何ができるかはわからないけど、でも辛い時にそばで励ますことくらいできるよ。
It was as if her gentle, warm, and soft smile had become the setting sun. These uncharacteristic words from Vanilla deeply penetrated and seeped into my heart.
だからきっとしぐれも私たちがご主人のところについていくのを許してくれた。しぐれはご主人と一緒に行くことはできないから代わりにお願いって。だからご主人が本当にショコラのことを思うなら一緒にいるべきだと思う。
There was not even the faintest bit of hesitation. They were such honest and absolutely straightforward words. Who am I to dictate Chocola and Vanilla's happiness? Only those words continued to strongly resonate in my mind, which was otherwise empty.
たとえ何不自由のない暮らしでもご主人様がいないのは嫌なんです。いくら大変でもショコラはご主人様と一緒にいたいんです。だからお願いします。ご主人様のそばにいさせてください。ここがショコラがいたい場所なんです。
She was on the verge of tears, but Chocola's face lit up. They were nothing but absolutely pure, genuine words. Humans are really at a loss for words when it comes to cat girls, huh? Saying no to their words was not something I could bring myself to do.
ご主人様、それって。
It won't be like it was back at home. You can't just live here however you like. Understand?
はい、 ですから。やれやれ、ついにご主人陥落。いやよいやよも好きのうちだね。
The dreary moments seemed to be blown away by her dazzling smile. Despite all this talk about family, perhaps I was the one that didn't really believe in it. Thinking about all this from their perspective, it was very simple. Although I thought it was all still so immature. Perhaps Kakuros were more human than humans were when it came to honesty. Okay, from here on out, we need to do our best all together.
毎晩大トレじゃなくて大丈夫です。たまにでいいです。お肉も A4 でいい。松阪牛なら脂身最高。
Is that all you guys have been eating at home? Even if the road ahead of us is uncertain, I lovingly rub their heads, disheveling their hair. Alright, why don't we head back to the shopping district then, yeah?
なんでですか？お買い物はもう終わったんですよね。
We have to go buy that shampoo you guys like, don't we?
おー、ご主人かっこいい。ついでに松阪牛も買おう。
Well, today's the celebration, so why not?
やったー、お祝いパーティーですね。ご主人太っ腹。さすがは私たちのご主人。
Just this once, okay? This was the beginning to a bright new life. And together with the happy and high-spirited Chocola and Vanilla, we took the first steps towards it. Wow, that was deep.